Hey, this is Nazar with Team Provident at 5 Realty. I wanted to give you an update of what's happening in our real estate space here in Eastvale for the month of November of 2021. In the month of November, there's a total of 56 houses that sold in all of Eastvale. Out of those homes, the average home sold for $787,000. The average days on market was 19 days, up from 17 a month prior. Now, some might look at that as a trend, but what's interesting is there's a twist. The active listing count went from 60 down to 30, or 32, excuse me. And because of that, because inventory went down by almost 50%, then that's gonna create more demand for those homes that are currently available for sale. So it's a great time right now to get your home on the market. The average of those homes listed is $774,000. So ultimately, what's going on in the real estate space? A lot of people are waiting for the bubble. A lot of people are waiting for values to come down, for price adjustments to be made. But here's the biggest couple of indicators that I believe that it's the complete opposite of what's gonna happen. The very first thing is, again, we've talked about before, is that there's just so many people more on this planet than there's ever been before. There's more humans that have jobs, that are adults, that have money to be able to buy property they want to own, and there's just not enough supply of inventory. So the demand's at an all-time high, supply is at an all-time low. And then what adds fuel to the fire is the affordability is nice and good, meaning that the average person could afford the average priced home because the rates are so low, and because of inflation, you have values of their income earning has also increased. So you factor those two things in the equation, and then lastly is inflation. Our national inflation is so high right now, and the thing that our national inflation, if you look at those numbers, don't take into consideration is housing and oil. Those two things are not factored into our GDP or our housing or inflationary numbers. And so if you factor those things in, we're looking at closer to 15 or 16% inflation rates right now. So that is massive. That means that every single dollar that you have that's in your bank account right now gets reduced by 16 cents. Now that might not seem significant, but if we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's a very big number. And so because of that, the biggest way to hedge against inflation is to be able to buy real estate. Buying real estate allows you to be able to fix an asset for a price, fix a payment for 30 years if you're getting a loan on it. And then you also have an appreciating asset, plus rates or rent will continue to go up. If you look at a rent chart from 30 years ago to now, year after year, rent continues to increase and increase and increase. And guess what? You can keep a payment the same for 30 years and still be able to ride that appreciation on both the value of the home and also rent values. So that's why a lot of my friends, investors, even myself, we're buying real estate right now to hedge against inflation, because cash, in the past it's called king, now cash is actually a liability. So obviously you want to have some for reserves, but if you're sitting on a big load, amount of cash, it might make sense to be able to look at investment opportunities. Now, I'm not an investor. I'm just an institutional investor here. I'm just letting you know what my personal beliefs are. Lastly, if you have had any thoughts on making a move and you've been sitting on that fence because you think that the market's going to correct itself or crash or whatever it might be, you might be for a rude awakening. So if you are on the fence, you do want to make a move, I would suggest that you act now. Give us a call. We're more than happy to be able to discuss your options with you and see if it makes sense for you to be able to make that move, especially if you are not in the right house today. Or if you are sitting in a lot of equity in your home and you want to do a refinance, pull money out and buy an investment property, then we're more than happy to help you out with that. Once again, this is Nazar with Team Provident at 5 Realty, wishing you an amazing day. Bye-bye.